worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity. Welcome to episode 10 of Car Shopping Questions and Answers. I'm your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. We do these live streams throughout the day to make sure that you can get insider secrets from someone who was in the car business for more than 14 years. Technically, I've been in it since 2006, even though I left in 2020 to focus on educating anyone who's willing to listen. And so those who listen to me, you're going to see throughout this show that they get below market deals. They get cars in 30 minutes from home. They're not going back and forth with negotiating. You don't need down payments. Everything that you may have thought you knew about car buying, quite honestly, a lot of that is going to be dispelled on this broadcast. But we're going to make sure that you know how to get to the money, where the hidden money is in your car deals, and quite honestly, how much you've been overpaying by not having this information. So come on in. I have my man Dolan moderating. We're live on 4 platforms. You guys can start typing your questions. And while we get the first couple questions coming in, let's do some housekeeping. If you're going to spend some time with us on TikTok, if y'all could start tapping the screen, running the likes up so we can let TikTok know that we're about to talk some serious business here. And it lets TikTok know that they need to get some more people over here. So also, you want to share this with your best friend. Last thing you want is for you to use these strategies, save a ton of money, and then your friend a year from now is telling you how they got a car and they got ripped off and they lost thousands of dollars. And then you tell them about our show and they're like, wait, why didn't you tell me about that last year when you were watching? So tag your best friend. Shout out to the sharers. Also, while we're waiting for the first couple questions, let's do some housekeeping. Some of you don't know me. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. I'm the author of the new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. We're rated 4.94 on Goodreads.com. Thank you to everyone who's rated the book. And we just got another rating, which is awesome. We appreciate it. And I'll read a little bit of it just so you could understand the magnitude of what's in this book. And everyone can get it for 75% off while you're here. But this one just came in. It says, this book is outstanding, a must-have for anyone seeking to buy, lease, or even sell a car. It's presented in a very professional, easy to follow, step-by-step manner that covers every situation from buying, leasing, paying cash, using credit, good credit, bad credit. Although I've purchased and leased several cars in my lifetime, I learned new tactics to obtain the best value for my money. Let's go. Appreciate that review, Barrett. Thank you so much. So everybody, you could get yours in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio. You won't leave the broadcast, but get there before the 30 minutes is up so you can get your 75% off. And you can get it in the YouTube or the Facebook comments. We pinned a comment for you so you can get it. And then we'll actually throw this banner up so that you can scan it with your mobile phone camera. If you happen to be watching us on TV, you can scan that QR code right there. All right. So once we get the first question, Dolan, you can shoot it in, brother. All right. And look, if this is your first time, stay by your keyboards. This is a dialogue. This is not something you're just watching. I'm going to ask you questions, and I want you to type your response quick as possible so we can keep the dialogue going. Okay. Let me make sure I can see the Instagram comment. Okay. So this one's from Instagram. I currently have about 12 to 15,000 in equity in a finance vehicle with 8 months of payments remaining. Realistically, I don't envision myself keeping the vehicle for another 3 years, so I like to lease. Dang. So you're talking brilliant. You're talking brilliant. See, everything you thought you learned, who's heard people say never lease? Let's get some, I'm in rare form tonight. I'm feeling very aggressive, but I'm gonna stay calm and cool. Who's heard you should never lease a car? Type me in the comments. I told y'all, stay by your keyboards so I could understand who I'm talking to. If you were taught never lease a car, type me. Okay, I see you, Maya. All right, I see you, Jet Beauty Jenny. Okay. I see you, Calvin. All right, Calvin on Facebook. I see you, Lady Gal. So every single one of you who were taught that, those people owe you money. Because if you're not keeping your car 8 years, it's impossible to get a great deal if you didn't lease. There's only one exception, and that's if you're buying very inexpensive cars. I call them smart cars, saving money at the right time. $7,000 cars, $5,000 cars, $10,000 cars, that's different. $3,000 cars. But if you are buying relatively new 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old used cars and brand new cars, and you're not keeping them 8 years, you've lost thousands already. So I want you to stop that tonight. So I'm gonna make a claim. I don't mind if somebody makes a very bold claim like the one I just made, but you got to be able to support it. Let me show you something. So Tope got a lease on a BMW $690 a month. It's a $54,000 car. Now somebody else might have that car just like that. You might be watching saying, Deshaun, I got the same car. To purchase this car, and what you're going to notice about how I want you to learn, you're going to learn to look at deals with no money going into them. Okay? See, where the confusion comes in is when down payments start coming in. When you start evaluating deals with no money going into them, you can evenly measure them. It's apples to apples, even in different scenarios. So no money down, she's driving a $54,000 BMW. Now she used our system, she got bids, so she didn't negotiate for this. She stayed at home and let these deals come to her. That same car would be $1,100 a month to buy, because some of you know every $5,000 on a purchase price, every $5,000 that you're going to borrow on a loan, on a 5-year loan, is about $100 a month, depending on the interest rate. Now, I want to give you a scenario that will never happen, but I just want to hammer home that if you didn't lease, but you should have leased, you can't get a great deal. And we're going to stop doing that. Now, watch this. Let's say you happen to walk in and you're looking at the same BMW Tope got. Brand new BMW, never driven before. What would be an unbelievable discount for that vehicle? You just so happen to catch a deal asleep in desperation mode. He says, look, I got to get rid of this car right now. What would be an unbelievable discount off a brand new BMW? Like the best deal that you could realistically get, where you would say, man, he took off all of that money. Throw some numbers out there. I'm about to prove my point. Why it doesn't matter how much money you save, if you put your deal on the wrong foundation, you can't get a good deal. Let's throw some numbers out. You see? Come on. Look, okay, y'all must be thinking. Okay, Coco Love, I like that. 20% off. I like that. So 20% off a brand new BMW. Can we all agree that if you walked in, you got 20% off a brand new car? That would be like, okay, Ted Chu said the same thing on Facebook. I like that. So let's just say, I'm gonna pull up my calculator, right? Pull up my calculator. She walks in, brand new BMW, $54,000. She gets it for 80% of what it costs. That's $43,000. I just told you every $5,000 is about how much per month? $100. So once we put our tax in here, let's not even put all the tax. Let's just round it up to 45. Tax is probably going to take it up to 46 with fees, 47. Let's just say 45. 45,000, y'all. Our payment's $900 a month. 5-year loan. That's with an unbelievable, never before seen discount. Remember that too. What is Tope paying? No money going into the deal. Do you see what I'm saying? Or if it's clicking, type clear. If it's clicking, that's an unbelievable, unheard of deal. Brand new BMW, desperate price. Please take it. I'm paying you to take it. Take 20% off the price. Here you go. You leave thinking, man, I won. I'll never get a deal like that again. What's my payment on this thing? $900. Take a 6-year loan. It's probably $800. Toke fan $690. This is what I'm talking about. It does me or you no good for me to show you how we get bids, how we make dealers bid for our business, how we shop for new cars, how we shop for used cars, how we make banks and credit unions bid when you miss this. Lease, if I don't lease and I should have leased, no way to get a great deal. So that's why, and we could throw one more scenario in here, because some of you like Deshaun, but I don't buy brand new cars. I know what you're thinking. Let's throw one more scenario. Let's say we get a great price on a used one. That same BMW, used one, great price on a used one. Let's say we knock 35, 40% off the price. 40%. Say we find a 40%. I don't want anyone to accuse me of saying, Deshaun, these numbers are just a little too, you're skewing the numbers. We're going extra unrealistic in terms of trying to show, right? So we get a nice BMW, good mileage. We knock 40% off that price, $54,000. We pay 60% of what it's worth. That's $32,000 we're paying. With taxes, it puts us at $35,000. What's our payment? $35,000 on a loan. Every $5,000 is $100 a month. What's the payment? I got you, Jet Beauty. I'm doing this for you. She said, one more example. I gave you the brand new lease that Toke got. I gave you the brand new. It doesn't matter. You could go and be not tons of money off on a new one. And here's the used one. $35,000. Every $5,000 is $100 a month. For payment $700 a month. So people are pulling up. Imagine 3 people pulling up side by side. Tote is in her new BMW 2024, paying $690 a month, no money down. Another buyer pulls up next door that never learned about leasing, but is not keeping their cars long term, because there is a place for buying. It's not about, everyone should be leasing. It's the 8-year rule. I'm talking about you short-term people. You're not keeping your cars 8 years, yet you believe the lies that you shouldn't be leasing. We're going to scrap that tonight. If you're willing to unlearn, tonight will be the last day you believe that bad information. So $690 a month, Toke pulls up. Someone pulls up next to Toke, got a phenomenal deal, think they won. Hey, we got the same car. Oh yeah. Man, how much you get? You're not gonna believe this. The dealer gave me 20% off this thing. Oh, that's incredible. How much is your payment on that? Oh, I'm paying $900. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, no money down though. No money down. Okay, what you paying? I'm paying $690, no money down. Oh, okay. Wow. Other person pull up in the used one. Oh, y'all got the new versions. That look good. That look real good. How much y'all paying? Oh, I'm paying $690 for the new one. Oh, I'm paying $9. Oh, I'm paying $7 for the used one. Do we understand how bad Tope is winning? So you keep believing that old information. It's cost you thousands of dollars. Cost your family thousands. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm also the bearer of good news. Because if I don't tell you, who's going to tell you? At least now you can actually make the changes and actually change your behavior and stop listening to people who rant about things but never talk numbers. Never talk numbers. They just rant and say, don't do this. Always do this. Never talk numbers though. So this is it. First step, I'm glad this is all based on this first comment we got from Instagram. Don't envision yourself keeping the car 8 years, even 3 more years, then you need to be switching to a lease tomorrow. No point in staying in it. No point in staying in it. All right. Go ahead. Shoot the next question up, Dolan. I think we went deep enough on that first one. Okay. This is the 7 p.m. live show. This is our first live show in the evening. If you see the banner on the actual show, that means we rebroadcast it, because we do rebroadcast these shows all day, so you can tell your friends, even if they can't catch us live, they can watch the show. But yeah, right now we're live, so keep typing your question. Look, Marika said, "Wow, I understand. I understand. You're pulling back the veil." All right, this one's from Instagram. What's your opinion on the current car market with leasing? See, I can show you better than I can tell you. Those who don't know how to get great deals, there's no deals to them. We've been hearing this since the very, very beginning. When I started teaching people in 2021, we were hearing there's no deals out there. Felicia came in. She was our first person to use my stuff. She got a BMW X1. And she got it $1,950 off. That was in January 2022, middle of the pandemic, when there was blood in the street. Blood, everybody who came out the dealership, it was like you couldn't believe what you paid. And God willing, you didn't have to buy in those scenarios, or if you use my strategies, you did okay. But those who had to buy, I told you how dangerous it was back then, because dealers were charging 5, 10, 15 grand over sticker and getting it. Meanwhile, Felicia came in, she got a $1,950 discount off a white BMW, not a purple one that no one wanted, white one. Bonita, I always use Bonita because Bonita was middle of the, look, 2022, December 2022. Got 600 down, 600 a month on a brand new Kia Telluride. So our vantage point is different. I get it. To you, yo, there's no deals out there. To us, it's never been no deals. It's deals everywhere. Everywhere. Look, Frina. Some of you saw Frina. Just got a brand new lease. $579 a month. $65,000 vehicle. Ridiculous deal on a Jeep Grand Cherokee Hybrid. Ridiculous. Under 1% lease deal. So, I mean, Desan, what about purchasing though? Well, it's easier to get purchase deals because there's no lease program. All you need is a huge discount from the dealer. When you're leasing, you need a huge discount from the dealer and a good lease program. So, but here's Sean, $73,000 F-150 Lightning just recently. Look, $20,000 off he's getting. It's just what you know. And I'm not the most proud of the fact I can get deals. I'm sure there's probably not one of you who doubt if this guy was in the car business, worked for Mercedes, worked for General Motors, he's clearly good at this. Of course he can get deals. That's why I don't even talk about the deals I get. I always show the people who use the stuff that I teach so that you could understand that you could get deals. You just need to change your strategies. Stop shopping like it's 1990. You get what I'm saying? You're shopping like it's 1990. No disrespect. I'm just telling you, look and analyze yourself. What about how you shop is different than how our parents shopped in the 90s? So this is what you need to change. And when you change and you start listening to what I'm telling you, you start sitting at home and you start going online and start making these dealers come to you and getting bids while you sit at home, making these banks come to you and getting bids while you sit at home, and not trading your cars anymore, getting bids from online buyers, you're going to save the same money. You're going to save the same money they're saving. Easier than you've ever saved it before. Okay? Change your strategy. That's what we do here. Okay? All of this is out of my new book. You can put the next question up, Dolan. Cars from Home. It's a digital book. You can get it for 75% off in the TikTok comments. You won't leave the broadcast. It's normally $97. But you get it for $24 as long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up. It'll be in your inbox. Same thing in my Instagram bio. Click the link, grab your copy, and then we got comments in the comment section. We have the link pinned for you guys on Facebook and YouTube, so you can get your copy for 75% off. Okay. TikTok. How do I know what the percentage is for lease deals for Mercedes-Benz? When I return my lease, do I have to replace the tires and brakes? If they're bald, yes. Or you're just going to pay for them. And the same thing that would lose you money if you own the car, lose you money if you're returning the lease. If you have a big dent on a car and you go to sell it, people are going to take off money for that, right? If you go and sell a car and you like, hey, yeah, I want to sell this car, and everybody looks and the tires are completely bald, they're going to take off money for that, right? Exactly. So you have to, now you don't have to run, now most leasing companies give you wear and tear. So I know you may have been thought, oh, I got to keep a lease perfect. No, absolutely not. They give you normal wear and tear. They allow you to have normal wear and tear, scratches, dings, you can even run the tires down pretty low. But when you start getting excess wear and tear, bald tires to the point where they're dangerous, dents, big dents, cracks in the glass, this stuff you're going to be billed for. And that's perfectly natural. Now, in the case of what is a good lease deal for Mercedes-Benz, it's not brand specific. Watch this, y'all. A good lease deal is a good lease deal no matter what. See, the name of the game with leases, if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, because there's a different way to win with cars, and that's keeping them long enough to where they're not depreciating a lot anymore. That's usually going to be at least 8 years before you start winning, and you can catch up with the good deals that lease people are getting. You see these payments they're paying. You saw the scenarios I put when, buying the used car, leasing, getting a great deal, buying the new car. In order for them to catch up to that lease deal, they need to keep their cars a very long time, 8 years minimum, so that they can start to recoup some of the money they're putting into these cars that a person who's leasing isn't. So long-term ownership is the way to win. 8, 10, 12, 15 years. Leases, great lease deals is the way to win. But that middle stuff, buying cars, switching them in 2 years, loss. Buying cars, switching them in 4 years, loss. 6 years, loss. Leasing the car and then buying it, so you go from a lease to a purchase, different, loss. You're stuck in the middle. So when we're looking at lease deals, y'all, we're using an old principle, which is the 1% rule. The 1% rule on great lease deals has always been around. As long as I've been in the car business, it was around. So if your lease deal was 1% of the MSRP of the car with no money out of pocket, you stole the car. You stole a car. And I got tons of those deals. I never paid more than that. Before 2019, that was my last time I leased, I had 4 Infinities and I had 2 Pontiac G6s when I was with GM, and I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Those are the cars that I have leased. Matter of fact, I only leased one of the Pontiacs, then I bought a used one. So I had 1 Pontiac, 4 Infinities, and 1 G6. And 1 Jeep. 6 leases I've had, all under 1%. So that's a steal. But what I found is people are signing bad lease deals and not knowing, well, what's a bad lease deal? If that's a steal, then what's a good lease deal and what's a bad one? The only parameter for a bad lease deal is you paid too much for a car you're giving back. So if you pay, and I created the 1.5% rule, what that looks like is if you're leasing a $40,000 car and your payment's 1.5%, 1.5%, that's $600 a month. That is the max. Because when you multiply that by 36 months, you're $21,600. On a $40,000 car, once you take your taxes and everything, you're probably about 44. So paying 21 over 3 years, not that bad. That's the max though. That is the max. Max, you don't go into a dealer, hey, man, you got to get me under 1.5%. No one who's learning from me has a goal to be at 1.5%. If that's the best deal out of all the offers we get, then that's different. But once you go over 1.5%, look, $650 a month, that same car, you're paying $23,000 for. You're paying more than that for a car you're giving back in 3 years. So this is why we had to have that. Now, between 1% and 1.5, that's a good deal. Between 1% and 1.5, good deal. And what's going to dictate where you land on that spectrum is if you're getting bids, because you're not going to get the lowest price from a dealer without getting at least 5 offers. I told you, 80% of dealers are overpriced. Remember that. If you can grasp that, I want you to type the number 80, because you need to understand 80% of dealers in the country are overpriced. I see you. I see you, Steven. Okay, I see you, 223 Apparel. All right, TikTok locked in. I see you. Okay, when you get that, then you're going to be much more aware that I cannot. I see you. I am Tashan F. Sir. You're going to be much more aware of why you cannot walk into a dealer thinking you're going to get your best deal. Because if there's 10 dealers on the street, 10, now what you should be saying is 8 are overpriced. So I can't gamble and walk in and think, because you can't negotiate and win with an 80% deal. Because their prices are so high, even when you get money off, you still lose. So that's where, so it takes 2 things to get great lease deals. You have to get bids while you sit at home. You talk to all 10 of those dealers online. I have the best system for doing that. You could do it your way if you want, but you need to do it. In my book is my scripts and my websites I go right to the dealer's website. What we say, you just type in what you want. Everything is copy and paste. But you do this so that you can actually get the offers and find out of your 10 dealers, who are the 2 that are the best priced. That's the whole goal. So you need that to get a great lease deal, a big discount from the winning dealer, and then you need a good lease program. That's what dictates where you're going to fall in that spectrum. You can't get below 1% without a ridiculous lease program. They really want to move the car, but 1.2%, 1.3%, these are happening all day long on cars that you all day long. All right, next question, Dolan. All right, Deshaun, I bought the book and followed your instructions for lease deals. I got a 1% deal quote. It's the best system. Buy the book. Best $24 you can spend, right? Precision Sound. See, I swear when I was putting the book together, I priced it at $97 because I said this book is going to save somebody so much money. It's not fair to have it priced like other books. I got tons of books here. I'll be honest with you. Not many of these books have actually saved me thousands of dollars. A couple of them have. A couple of them strategy, but they serve a different purpose in my life. This will be the book that you look at and say, that book right there saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's the reason why it's $97. But you know what? I'm an author. I said, let's do a special thing. Everybody who jumps on the welcome offer, you could get it for the price of a regular book. There you go. But I'm glad. 1% lease deal. Congratulations. Great job. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. All right, next question, Dolan. Can you use your system out of state? Ted, great question. You're going to find that you're going to become very comfortable dealing with dealers out of state. Because, and I'm going to tell you the truth, a lot of dealers that are close to you, when they see your zip code, they've already determined and made up in their mind how much they're going to discount, or if they're even going to discount, based on where you live. If you're 20 minutes from them, why do I need to give you a discount when I know the average person shops 2 dealers before they buy? Now, I don't want you to be average. Let the average people get average deals and above market deals, but you're not going to get below market deals doing average things. I'm going to say that again. You're not going to get below market deals doing average things. Most dealers know, this is NADA research. This is the company that studies car buyers. People shop 2 dealers and then they buy. So if I'm sitting here watching you and I see a zip code, I'm not going to give you a great, especially if I'm an 80% dealer, forget it. But when you start talking to these dealers that are 45 minutes away from you, an hour away from you, now they'll never see you without the online tools. And what we want to do is these smaller dealers that are usually that don't have the foot traffic, we want to give them the opportunity because they want to be able to compete with the dealers in the city. And if it's up to walking in, they'll never have that opportunity. But when it's online shopping, they get the same opportunities, and they will sometimes take that opportunity and make sure they beat their competition. Going back to Sean's deal, very important to see this. Sean posted in our groups. We have a private group. He said, I haven't seen the other. I said, I haven't seen the other offers. This is when he showed me he was saving 20 grand. And he said, you know, what do you think about this? I said, you're saving 20 grand. But I said, I don't know what the other offers are. Because what if you could save 25? Don't get excited about one offer. You got to get 5. I sold a car, a Maybach, and years ago, it had a $20,000 rebate on it. What if this car had a $20,000 rebate? We don't know. So he said, look, I got 15 offers. See, the difference is when you're using an online system, you sit at home and you start learning how to go on these dealers' website, copy and paste what you want and get these offers. You're going to be like, dang, I could get 5 more offers just like that. So he got 15 offers. Now check this out. This is what's important about this question you just asked, Ted. I couldn't find anything under MSRP locally. He expanded his search to 150 miles and he found this deal. So a dealer that was over 100 miles away from him made him this offer. None of the dealers close. Very important. So you want to get comfortable shopping out of state. And when you know how to do it the right way, especially on new cars and leases, it's easy because it's new cars. They're cookie cutter. You know, everyone has the same. Little bit more precision when you're buying a used car. But even that, don't be scared. We've had plenty of people drive an hour to get a used car, hour and a half. If that's where the best price used car is, if I'm saving $4,000, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna get a hotel room for $60, and I'm gonna get my car. That's it. I'm going to where the money is, not staying here because I want to be comfortable and I'll just pay more because I just want to be convenient. You know what I'm saying? Great question, though. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Steven, you clicked that picture of me. He said, what do I click to get the book? Click that picture of me. Even on Instagram, there's a picture of me at the top. And you can go right to that website and you'll see a button at the top that says get the book for 75% off. So get your book before the 30 minutes is up so you can get your 75% off. This is Thomas on Facebook. What's your opinion on military members using this method? I move every 3 to 4 years. So do you think it's wise to get rid of my car note to own and lease? It's a great question. You need at least 3 years. If it's 3 years, that's fine. I don't want you trying to worry about breaking a lease contract 2 years in, or a year and a half in. If I knew it was shorter than that, then I wouldn't be investing a lot of money in cars. I'd have like a, $10,000 car, $8,000 car, because you can't replace cars that fast. Some of you know I do this all the time. I show you, this is the depreciation scale. Whenever you see this, you think unseen. This is the unseen expense, the depreciation scale. This is why when you buy a car for $30,000 today, what is it worth tomorrow? If you buy a car for $30,000 today, I want to teach you how to see the hidden money. I call this the hidden money, the unseen expense. You buy a car for $30,000 today, what's it worth tomorrow? Throw some numbers out there. Let's see Instagram. I'm just talking 24 hours later. You bring the car back 24 hours later. Is it still worth $30,000? Right? Look, iHeart said 22. Maybe not that much the next day, but you could be. You could be 25, 29. Look, it's worth less, right? So now that's the beginning. Now you park that car outside your driveway a year. Don't touch it. Don't drive it. You paid $30,000 for it. Come back a year later. What's it worth? Now we're getting into those 25s, 22, 20. Look, you never drove it. You didn't drive it one single mile. That's what we are. And look, that's happening the first 5 years that you have the car. Now, there's one exception, Thomas, if I'm you. If I can get 3 to 4 years, I'm leasing. No doubt about it. 3 to 4 years, I'm leasing. Now, your goal is to, if you got to make a move, you don't want to lose money and you don't want to have a bunch of negative equity. So what you can do, what I would suggest you do, if you don't have the 3 years, then I would buy a pre-owned car. I wouldn't even go with a $10,000 one. I just make sure I get a great price on a pre-owned car, so that with pre-owned cars, you can swap out and you don't lose. Compared to someone who's leasing, though, you will, because you're going to pay about the same amount they're going to pay, but they're going to have a brand new car and you're going to have a used one. But that's the risk you have to take, because if you try to lease and then you end up having to get out of it in a year, no, can't break that contract that easily and you're going to lose money. So if you got 3 years, I'd lease for sure. If you only got 2, then I get a great deal on a pre-owned car. And then that way I'm safe. If I do need to get out of it, I can sell it and probably break even within a 2-year period, because it's not going to depreciate as much as a used car. I mean, as much as a new car. Okay? If you got 3-4 years, man, lease. When a lot of you, when you realize I'm not talking to you who are keeping cars 8 years. If you have a car outside your house for 8 years or longer, type me. Matter of fact, type K. We call that a keeper. You got to be able to distinguish the difference in these scenarios. Anything outside your house for longer than 8 years is a keeper. We're not even comparing leasing. But when your kids come to you and say, Mom, Dad, I want a car, we don't automatically make them this is going to be a keeper. You're going to keep this thing for 8, 9, 10 years. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep this car maybe 5 years. Okay, then you should be leasing. Okay, your spouse. Me and my wife did it all the time. We had one car that we bought. That was the Pontiac G6. And then we would lease a car and we would rotate the lease. So you can have both. But the key is knowing every time you're about to buy a car, the first question is, how many years am I keeping the car? And if it's not 8, then you should be shopping for great lease deals. If it's 8 or more, then you should be buying. Very simple rules, boundaries based on numbers. All right. Go ahead, shoot the next one up, Dolan. Great question, Thomas. And anybody who's in that situation, that's a good strategy for you guys to follow. YouTube, 6 months left on my 36-month lease, 12,000 miles per year. Things came up and I had to use the car every day, 99,000 miles so far. What can I do? You pay. Now, what you can do is you're going to do an equity assessment. There's 3 ways you're going to work that you compare this. 3 ways, and you're trying to see which one is you're going to bite a bullet because you use the mileage. And again, I want to make it clear, had you purchased the car and put that same amount of mileage on it, your value of your car wouldn't have been like this. That's the average driver. Average driver, their value is dropping like this. That's average. You lose, a couple thousand every year, 5,000. You lose percentages. 20% the first year, 15%, 15%, 12%, 10%. That's the average driver. If you bought it, you'd have lost probably 25% in 1 year based on the way you drive. So it's not a matter of, I leased, I shouldn't have leased. No, this is what happens if you don't cater the lease to the lifestyle. And sometimes you have a lifestyle change, but it doesn't change the fact we have to account for the mileage you use. So we're going to do an equity assessment. You're going to see, if I sold this car, because the reason you're going to do this first is because you want to see what the highest bidders would pay. CarMax, Driveway. This is step 2 in my book, equity assessment. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book, instant cash offer. Do not use Blue Book. Please do not come to me talking about what Blue Book said your car is worth. We don't use algorithm sites. We get real offers. Cash offers is all that matters to us. Okay? Kelly's Blue Book, instant cash offer. AutoNation, sell my car, and Car Guru, sell my car. That's 6 offers. And you're going to get that after you get your payoff. Now, you're going to see how upside down you are. And once you see that, okay, I'm upside down, How many miles did you contract for? Oh, 12,000 miles a year. Okay, so all right. So once you see, all right, my highest offer is 23,000, but your payoff might be, 30. Then that means you're $7,000 upside down. So now you can compare paying that money to now saying, all right, well, what happens if I return the car? Now, this is the second scenario. First scenario, when your over mileage is selling it. What does that look like? Second scenario is actually taking the mileage penalty, because I just told you $7,000 is the bill over there. In that scenario, mileage penalty, you contracted for 36,000 miles and you got 99 on it. So 99.8 minus 36,000 miles, you 63,000 miles over, and you're probably going to be charged 25 cents per mile. So that's a $16,000 mileage penalty that's coming if you stayed to the end. So that's why you want to compare selling, paying the difference. If you got some cash on hand, that would be the best way to do it. Now, the last thing that you can do, which is, see, I don't like these scenarios because these are negative equity scenarios with leases, and we really shouldn't. Besides an emergency, we really should not be in negative equity situations with leases, only finances. But your last scenario is, once you see how much your car is worth from the offers, you're now going to try to roll that negative equity over and get someone to pay the bill and wrap the new deal with the negative equity. So you're going to get bids for whatever car you want to replace it with. Whatever car, let's just say you're looking for a Jeep Grand Cherokee, you get bids, get your best offer, and then you're going to tell them, hey, I got this old car here with this type of penalty. I need to wrap it into this deal. That's 7,000 or 8,000. That's why you got to know what the market value is. Before you do this, you have to know what the market value is based on offers, so that you know, all right, I got to slap another $7,000 on top of whatever my best deal is, so that I don't get the bill. So if you can pay the bill, pay the bill. If you can't pay the bill, then you need to roll it into the next deal. But the last thing you want to do is drop that car off without doing what I'm telling you, because once that car is grounded, the bill is generated. It's nothing out of it. So everything you have to do is now, because if you ground that car with that mileage, the bill is automatically coming. There's nothing you can do to get out of it. So follow those steps, do the equity assessment. And when you're on those websites I just told you about, if you have a lease, it's going to ask you, are you leasing, financing, or own? Put own. I'm just telling you. And I'm telling you, if you have my book, I explain why you must do that, but I don't have the time to go into detail of why you must do that right now. Okay, just when you're on those websites, put own. And if you have my book, then I'll be walking you through this step by step. But you're more, if this ever happens again, you guys look at this early. You look at this when you're a little bit over miles, not this much over miles. And listen, I know you may have not known, maybe I understand, but for future reference, we want to choose our mileage carefully. And if we find ourselves going over by thousands and thousands of miles, we want to make a move and do this same scenario sooner than later. Okay? Best thing I can tell you. You got to bite the bullet. We just need to find the smallest bullet to bite. Okay? All right, next question, Dolan. That's a good one. Common situation. All right. All right, go ahead, Dolan. All right, here we go. This is Ted. A couple other things real quick. I'm upside down in my current car loan, but the payment is cool. Still want the same or lower payment on the next purchase. Is this covered in the book? By the way, I already copied the book just in case I have to pivot. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, I think you said you were switching to a lease, right, Ted? But you're upside down. So if you are in a finance, what you're going to find with great lease deals is you can usually switch, and if you use what's in that book, get your great lease deal, you'll usually even bring in some negative equity over, you're still going to be in a comfortable payment range, because a purchase is so much higher than a great lease deal. So a purchase, unless you put a ton of money down, a purchase is just so much but you can't control that. All you can do is do your equity assessment, like I walk you through in the book, and then determine what you're going to do with the negative equity. Pay the difference or transfer it. And once you're transferring, you get your bids, and then you bring your negative equity on top and you see what it is. There's no point in worrying about what you can't control. But I can tell you that most times, switching from a lease to a finance to a lease, you're getting more car and you're usually dropping your payment, especially if you buy new cars. If you buy new cars, forget it. You're dropping your payment dramatically. So you can still move negative equity over. But even on used cars, you're going to see that just going from a finance, you saw the scenarios. If you were here at the beginning of the show when I started those 3 scenarios, you saw how different the payments were. So that lease gives you so much room to customize, bring over some negative equity, and still be better payment-wise than purchasing. Okay? So yeah, keep me posted, man. Make sure you send me your success story. Thomas just got the book. When will the next session be for the step-by-step breakdown? I don't do a step-by-step breakdown. Look, I'm talking to the public, and here's what I won't do, because it's just not fair. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking to people who have the book, because the book is step by step. Every now and then, Dolan pulls a question in, great, but I'm talking to people who don't have the book. I'm not going to make the whole show talking to people who have the book, because quite honestly, like I said, I got a lot of books up here. I can't talk to one of these authors. If I'm reading something from, this author over here, but the book is set up in a step-by-step way. So just use it and win with it. All right. Go ahead. Shoot the next question up, Dolan. It just would be corny. That'd be corny. Oh, he's only talking to people that got his book. No, we're not doing that. DJ Flair, YouTube. I haven't gotten APR under 1.4 on a lease. Should I settle? How many offers do you have? Now I'm looking at the comment section, DJ Flair. I need you, if you're going to ask a short question and then I'm asking you a follow-up question, I need you to type fast. And that's a quick look. Number, send. 3, send. 1, send. You know what I'm saying? I can't spend too much time if you're not right close to your keyboard. So okay, let's put it like this. If you don't have, I see you, Coach Troy. Thank you so much. Thank you to the people who support the broadcast too. I appreciate it. And shout out to the sharers. Shout out to the sharers. I see you, Body Gang Nunu. Thanks for everybody that's sharing the broadcast. Your friends will be mad at you if they find out you've been using this stuff and you didn't tell them, especially your best friend, your closest friend. If you've been using this stuff and you didn't tag them, go ahead. Go ahead, type your question, Coach Troy. We'll get to you. All right, I don't think with DJ Flair's tap back in. So here's the thing. The only time we're settling on any lease is when we have at least 5 offers. Because when you shop the right way, and anyone who shopped using my stuff can attest to this, when you shop the right way, you're going to see on a regular lease, any vehicle you name, you're going to see $150 to $200 a month difference. I told y'all, I'm not just telling you 80% of dealers are overpriced. You're going to prove it to yourself. 80% of dealers are overpriced, and you're going to prove it to yourself when you look at all those offers and you see that one dealer is at $450, another dealer is at $490, another dealer is at $530, another dealer is at $590, another dealer is at $6. We've been doing this. I've been working with people since 2021. I got over 1,600 people in my personal, coaching program, and we got thousands of people that have the book. So when we get the offers, that's what we see. So the only way we will settle on a 1.4% lease is if we know that's the lowest offer in the market. And the only way we know it's the lowest offer in the market is I'm looking at the other lease deals. Oh, that one's 1.5. That one's 1.7. That one's 1.75. That one's 1.8. Now I know 1.4 is the deal. Let me get this up out of here. This is a great deal on this particular car. That's the only way. Okay. Next question, Dolan. Great question. I'm on the fence about joining maps for my truck purchase. Can you elaborate on how it's different than following the book? I don't even talk about maps on here. Maps is Maps is my book and video with me coaching and Zoom calls and a private Facebook group. Totally different. And again, that's another reason why I can't get too big into giving questions and answers. Look, the book is there. It's $24. It's step by step. People have used it, gotten to success. That's why we're rated 5 stars, 4.94. But that's why we're rated high. That's why people are writing me. Look, we just got this today. So when I get this stuff like that, the only time I'm going to engage with thousands of people who got the book is when I know the book is not really complete. It's not complete, but we know the book's complete. So when Tiffany sends me this, look, I just got this from Tiffany. Look, I believe we got a great deal. Look, 2024 Mazda CX-90, $44,820 on the sticker. Discount was $6,530. That's ridiculous. That was her best offer of all her bids. $65,000. She saved 15% off the price of the car. Brand new car. She just sent me this. So some people are like, Deshaun, you know what? I can follow the book. This is my thing. You laid it out step by step. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is delivery. Step 7 is literally getting ready for delivery. So, but Maps is totally different. Maps is the program I launched in 2021 that I work personally with people. We do coaching calls, and we and everything in the book is in video form. So you're not reading, you're just watching step-by-step video. So you could email me about that, and we can talk about that another time. All right? You get what's right for you. Go ahead. Next one, Dolan. All right. What if you drive too many miles daily? You just pick your miles. You choose your miles wisely. You can see, here's what I want you to understand. Now, if you were on the show a little earlier, we talked about how you're going to pay whether you, and bring in, Dolan, can you bring in Coach Troy's question on TikTok? Here's what you have to be very clear on. You pay for the miles whether you purchase or lease. That's why I want you to think about that. Depreciation scale. If I drive 0 miles, my car is worth less in a year. If I drive average miles, it's worth less in a year. If I drive high miles, it's worth less in a year. Ain't got nothing to do with whether you leased it or you bought it. If you bought it, that's what's happening. So the purpose of the lease is to know I'm not keeping my car 8 years. So I'm going to look to replace the car while it's dropping in value like this. If I buy it, this is year 1, this is year 2, this is year 3, this is year 4. Once you get about year 6, it starts to round out. You're losing less value, year 7, year 8. But you still need to catch up to the person who leased because they haven't put all this money in the car that you have. That's why it's the 8-year rule. But if you're like, Deshaun, I know I'm not keeping the car 8 years. Your goal is to beat the depreciation in. How do I get a car without taking this type of loss? That's a lease. That's a great lease deal. Not an average lease deal, not these commercials. None of these lease deals y'all saw in the show today was based on a commercial. Nothing. They were probably thousands better. Do never look at commercials and think, oh, that's a lease deal. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what you're going to do is you're going to assess your miles, see how much you drive to work and back, how many days a week, and you're going to add that up over the year, and you're going to come up with a number. And if it's $18,000 a year, great. I worked for Hyundai for 6 weeks, and I keep the story short, but I worked for them for 6 weeks. I was a manager there. Owner ended up getting indicted. Straight up highway dealer. Like I would never, it's the only dealer where I said, whoa, this ain't for me. No way. Got out of there in 6 weeks. Gave them their car back that they had me driving. I said, I appreciate it. God bless you. So I end up getting, I had a person who was dropping off their lease. And I was doing the paperwork to ground the lease for them. Hey, I was doing the work to ground the paperwork, and to ground the lease, and I saw that he had like 70,000 miles on the car. And I said, "You lease this?" He said, "Yeah, man, I always lease." I said, "Wait, you in sales?" No, he told me. He said, "Yeah, I'm in sales. I drive over 20,000 miles a year. I used to buy my cars, and I just be, all this negative equity. I had to put big down payments. I just, once somebody showed me about leasing, I never stop. I pay my payment, I bring it back after 3 years, get a new one every 3 years." I said, "Wow, that's crazy." Then I looked at his payment, and I saw his payment was only like $150 a month more than a normal payment. It wasn't $500 more a month. It was $150, $175 more to get the additional mileage that he needed. I said, "Man, I'm telling everybody about this," because I had high mileage drivers coming in with same amount of mileage on that he had, 70, 80,000 miles, except they bought it. And now I'm like, "Hey, you got like 12,000 negative equity because your car, you got so many miles on it." And they're like, "Yeah, I know." So before I learned that about high mileage leases, that's what I used to do. I didn't understand it, but now forget it. And that was back in that was 2016. So everything I've learned, I bring it to the public, and I've learned from seeing bad scenarios. So no matter how many miles you drive, as long as you're not doing like Uber or Turo or something where you're renting the car, you're just putting like as many miles as you can on it a year, and you don't really know how much you're going to put on. As long as that's not the case, it's predictable, then for sure. I have two strategies in my book for high mileage drivers that don't keep cars 8 years. Two strategies: high mileage lease, and then something I call 2 cars, 1 payment. High mileage lease, 2 cars, 1 payment, where you split the mileage. You have 1 car you buy, and then you pay that car off, and then you have 1 nice car that you lease, 12,000 miles, and you just split the miles. Either way, stop buying. And now, one more thing, and put the next question up, Dolan. Now, if you're a high mileage driver and you are an 8-year person, great, no reason to lease. There's plenty of cars out there. You buy a car that you can drive 25, 30,000 miles a year. That'll last you 8 years. No reason to lease. See, if you are keeping your cars 8+ years, forget about leasing. If the person who you want to shop for is 8+ years, no reason to lease. I'm only talking to you who are like 6 years, 5 years. Deshaun, I'm not keeping it 8 years. You are the ones losing thousands of dollars by not leasing. All right, I see you. I see you. All right, so this is Coach Troy from TikTok. And we're live, y'all. Just in case you know, we're live for a couple more minutes. This is our 7 p.m. live. We whenever you don't see the banner on top, you know it's live. Whenever you see, because we rebroadcast these shows because a lot of people can't make them, so you can catch them on pretty much any of our platforms. You can watch the replay, watch the rebroadcast. But we are absolutely live right now. So for a couple more minutes, you can type your questions. This is Coach Troy from TikTok. I have a lease now. My lease is up in June. My credit fell to 573. Can I go for a finance? What I do is I get a smart car right now, saving money at the right time. Now, if you have a strong car payment history, that weighs on your profile. Mercedes, tell y'all a story about Mercedes. Mercedes, if you paid Mercedes, your whole world could be crashing down. They'll approve you again. So I would have people come in and say, Deshaun, or they'll call me and say, Deshaun, my credit's not where it was when I got the Mercedes a couple years ago. What do you think? I said, well, how was the payments on the Mercedes? I never missed one. You're good. Maxed out credit cards don't matter. They look at that. So if you paid the car payment, I go for a lease. If you missed a couple car payments, but if you missed a couple car payments, I'd go for maybe a less expensive lease. Possibly 573 is tough. You need a lot of stuff to weigh, because I have something I teach. It's about profile, not just about score. So profile is how long you've been on your job, the money you make. Probably the two biggest indicators are payment history and credit score. But outside of that, that's not all it's based off of. So you got to kind of look and say, all right, if my credit score is low, do I have anything else on my profile that makes the profile look attractive? That could be, that's usually either a car payment that you paid on time, or um, you only missed a few payments and they dropped your score low. If you got like 60, 90-day lates, then I would tell you, okay, let's get an inexpensive car, $10,000 car, get something small. I call this a smart car. In my book, I refer to this as a smart car, saving money at the right time. Now, this is a setup car because you're in a rebuild. So your goal is to get the smallest car possible because you pay for size. You don't want to go out and get a huge SUV because you're going to pay for size. If you get something that was brand new, 25,000, I would get it, finance it, try not to get something too old. But the only way you're going to need to get something old is if you're trying to buy an expensive vehicle. If you're trying to buy a Jeep Grand Cherokee that's $45,000 brand new and you're trying to get it for 10 grand, you're going to need it. Old one. And that's usually a sign that we're looking at too much car. So, but if you need an SUV, that's different. But your goal is to sacrifice, get the least expensive quality car. It must last 2 years. Hit the payment history on point. Don't miss a payment, and then you would switch to a lease. So I don't know enough about your scenario, but I kind of gave you a little bit. And in my book is the details of this, the smart car strategy, and shopping for a lease and looking at your credit profile. So based on where you're at, you make your move. But either way, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. Tons of people are going to be rebuilding now. Just make sure you're doing it right so that you don't set yourself back with your next car. You want to set yourself up. And a lot of people, when they're in a tough situation, they make another decision that actually sets them back. Okay? Go ahead. Next question, Dolan. Okay, I see. High prior BMW lease. Thanks, Coach. Forget about the gifts. Just get the book. I appreciate you sending the gifts, but I'd rather you have the book because I want you to win. Okay, take all that money you just gave on the show, and I appreciate it, and get your book so you can make sure that you win for the rest of your life with cars. But thank you. Go ahead. This one's YouTube. Where's Instagram at? Instagram, y'all quiet this evening. Y'all started out the show with a lot of questions, and now y'all quiet. Let's go, Instagram. Type your question. And the thing about Instagram is, if you hit that little paper airplane next to the comment box, you can share this with like 30 of your friends. And I guarantee you, every single one of them will thank you. Every single one of them. We don't dance. We don't tell jokes over here. All we do is talk big money. Guarantee they'll thank you. So, all right. This one, Diana from YouTube. Am I liable for a vehicle that I didn't take possession of? If the paperwork has been sealed, signed, the bank has been notified, if there's a bank involved, you can be, just because you didn't pick it up, but you would have had to sign all paperwork and basically have them turn that paperwork in, which would start the motor vehicle processing, where they're going to register the car in your name. Once this process has moved forward, whether you took the car or not, that vehicle is linked to you. In which case, yes, you are liable. But it depends. I hate buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse sucks, y'all. Buyer's remorse you only get buyer's remorse two ways. You got a bad car or you got a bad price, or both. So you need boundaries to get good cars, quality cars. Choose the right cars that you're gonna like, gonna love, gonna enjoy, so that you don't regret the car. Boundaries to make sure you get a quality car, not a car that's gonna be in the shop, not a car that's gonna break down. Boundaries. You need strategy to make sure you actually get enough offers, so when you accept the offer, you paid the lowest price possible. Offers. So those two things, two types of buyer's remorse: the car and the price. The car, that you're shopping, how you shop, choosing cars, taking your time, knowing what websites to go to make sure the car is quality, going to test drive the cars if you're leasing or buying a new car. That's the shopping boundaries. That's how you make sure you don't get a bad car. When you're looking at a used car, narrowing it down, title history, service records, accident history, and then the strategies. The other buyer's remorse is, I don't like the price. I think I could have paid less. I think I'm overpaying. I'm not comfortable. That comes from getting bids and looking at multiple offers. Got to use this. If you don't use this, that's going to continue. It's impossible for you to eliminate that without those two strategies. Boundaries, shopping strategy. Okay? I hate buyer's remorse. Go ahead. No problem, Coach Troy. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Dolan. Next one. Okay. Oh, we got another success story. Let's go. Okay. Thank you, Gina. YouTube success story. Just ordered a 2024 BMW X3 M40 for almost $4K off MSRP plus $3K military discount. Would have never thought about this being possible. Followed your car shopping for people who hate car shopping book. Don't make me drop the microphone up in here. Gina, $7,000 she's saving from home, getting bids. See, look, I love this. I love this. This is empowerment right here. Forget all that other stuff. Forget all the other stuff. Is if you use something and it does not save you money, throw it out. But you got to use it. I knew that if you're willing to use what's in my book, if you are willing to take it, trust my process, these are the results. You don't have to be me. You don't have to be Deshaun. Gina's not me. Gina didn't even know about this a month ago. Got the book, used the step-by-steps, saving $7,000 off a brand new BMW M40. X3 M40. Come on. Come on. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Great job. I had dealers beating other dealers' prices. I see. Come on. That's the language that I want you talking. That's empowerment right there. There's no buyer's remorse. There's no potential for buyer's remorse. How? I got dealers competing. Yo, all right, you the best right here. You won. The heck? There's no room for buyer's remorse when people were competing, jumping through hoops. Hey, pick me. Here's my offer. Here's my offer. Here's my offer. Come on. All right. I love it. Good job, Gina. Okay, to everyone else who's like, what book did she use? That's my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home. It was originally called Car Shopping for people that hate car shopping, but now it's called Cars from Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Has all my templates for new cars, used cars, leases, everything in there. And it's normally $97, but in my TikTok bio, you can get yours for 75% off. In my Instagram bio, click that link and then get your book. You'll pay $24 instead of $97. And in Facebook, YouTube, we got the comments. We got a comment pinned for you guys to get it. Go to deshonsbook.com right there on the screen. Or if you're watching us on TV, you can just scan that QR code with your mobile phone. I want the success stories. I love the success stories. Love it. All right, go ahead, Dolan. We got a couple more minutes. Go ahead. Next one. Okay, this one's Maria from Instagram. Apologies. I had to serial earlier, so I probably missed the answer. Do we include the fees into the payments when calculating the 1.5% rule? Absolutely. Now, the simple way is you don't have to worry about the fees. You're getting offers. Here's all that's important, Maria, when we're getting our lease offers. Total out of pocket is first month's payment only. If someone submits a deal with no first month's payment, you $2,000, $3,000, because some of them will do that. Can you please, resend the offer with just first month's payment? Then 12,000 miles per year. Then we're getting at least 5 offers. And then what we're doing is we're dividing the monthly payment into the MSRP. Dividing the monthly payment into the MSRP, not the selling price. Doesn't matter the selling price. The selling price is what affects the percentage. That affects the percentage. You need the MSRP so you can judge the deal. MSRP. Divide that into the MSRP. That's all you need to know when looking at lease offers. So I can look at 20 lease offers from 20 different people, As long as they are using the format that I told them to submit me the offer in, I can compare 20 offers in 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. Boom, 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 boom. All right, this dealer made the best offer. Very simple. Don't worry about fees with leases. Just do those percentages. Everything else will slow you down. All right, great question. All right, wasn't it fun? Look, Precision Soundworks said, wasn't it fun following his steps? I just gotta put that on it. Listen, this kid, oh man, come on. Wasn't it fun following his steps? Because you're in control. You're in control. It's fun being in control when you've been buying cars. You've been out of control for all your life. You felt intimidated. You felt like, oh, they're gonna get over on me. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna do the wrong thing. Now it's the total opposite. You're in control, so it becomes fun. My man, I love it. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Okay, this one's from TikTok. My brother totaled my car with only liability insurance. What should I do? Talk to the insurance company. Being underinsured is a real thing. That's called exposed. You're out there with exposure. So liability insurance, yeah, and hopefully it was a very inexpensive car, like a $3,000, $4,000 car. You know, I hope you weren't. You know, hope it wasn't like a $10, $12, $15, $20,000 car. This is why insurance exists. I'm sorry to tell you, like that's some of the worst scenarios. But you know, being underinsured is a real thing. You know, so make sure you're using. I use a company called Insurify.com or Jerry to shop insurance. It shops all the companies for me because you should be shopping for car insurance every single time your car insurance is up. And you know, but yeah, you got to be properly insured because these things happen. Say, look, gap insurance. A lot of people don't know. People will say, "Oh, I won't buy gap insurance," or they'll say, "When I go into the office, never say no to everything." Well, if you needed gap insurance and or you needed the right coverage, we either get it from the dealer or we call our insurance company. There's other insurance companies that sell gap insurance, but before we get it from the dealer, we'll call our insurance company or we'll go online. But if you total your car and you owe 25, but the car's net value was 20, you got a $5,000 bill coming. Totaled your car, lost your car. Now here comes a $5,000 bill. Hey, what happened? Gap, exposed. So this insurance thing is very real. So please make sure. I mean, I hope it works out for you, but make sure you have proper insurance coverage. All right, go ahead, Dolan. All right. Great questions. Great questions. All right. This one's Thomas. I have come to an end of my lease. A new lease is too much for me. The buyout is about 25K. Give me some options. Unless you got 5 offers, that doesn't mean anything. See, the problem is you didn't get 5 offers. So you probably got a lease quote from an 80% dealer who you've been buying cars from, leasing cars from. You come in, hey, what's a new one going to cost me? They're trying to keep you high based on three years ago. Everybody was overpaying and they're trying to keep you high. They're trying to keep their profit. And you look and saying, wow, the new one's 700. Nah, I can't do that. I guess I'm going to do something different. Meanwhile, when you start getting bids, you'll see that maybe the best deal on that is 500. See, all of these deals that I'm showing you guys, you got to understand something. These are not deals that people are getting by walking into dealers. Look, this is Charles. He got a Hyundai Palisade, top 10 most popular SUVs in the country. $48,000 vehicle, $597 a month. $597 a month. Listen, and just so y'all know, we live right now. This is not a replay. So we are straight live. I want you to know when we're live and when you're watching a rebroadcast. Okay? Like, understand, this doesn't happen walking into a dealership. So when I usually hear questions like this, oh, I'm gonna buy the lease out, or hey, there's no deal, you know, the new lease payments are too high. No one who's getting multiple offers are saying that, because what you would be doing is you would be flipping to another vehicle. Before I go from leasing, which is a value play. Leasing is driving brand new cars for pennies on the dollar. To go from that to buying a used car is an entirely different thing. Buying your lease is buying a used car. So when you do that, Alexis, just go to deshonsbook.com. Just type it into your browser. So when you do that, you're switching totally different strategies. But what I would do if there's a bad lease program, if let's say I've been leasing Mercedes-Benz for years and I go to get another one and I do all my offers and I see, oh, this is a bad lease program. It's over 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. No thanks. I'm going to go to my plan B car. I'm going to look at it, a plan B car, because every single vehicle has a different lease program. And sometimes you'll look at one vehicle and you'll think, oh, this is all leases. No, that's one vehicle. That's not even all leases in this dealership. This vehicle has a different lease program than this one. This trim level has a different lease program than that trim level. They're all different. So when we get locked in on one overpriced lease, especially if we didn't get 5 quotes like I teach, so no, that is the strategy. So you just said, give me some options, please. Here's your options. Get 5 offers. If they're all over 1.5%, next vehicle, pick another vehicle. Get 5 offers. If those are over 1.5%, pick another vehicle. Eventually, you're going to find a vehicle that has a great lease deal, and you're going to say, okay, this is it. They're all different. If you're using my book, you can do this in 60 minutes. Your first time using this, it'll probably take you 90 minutes to do the process. Second time, you should be around 60. I want you guys, by the time you use this 2-3 times, you'll be getting car. I could get any car I want, get the best offer, look at the whole market in 60 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. So that's not going to be your first time. 90 minutes probably the first time. But this is 90 minutes. By the time, that's not one trip to the grocery store. It's not even one trip to the grocery store. All right, y'all. We've been on for an hour and 18 minutes. We like to keep these lives around an hour and 15. We're going to wrap. We'll be back. Listen, this is what we do. Shout out to the surprise success stories. Thank y'all to everybody who spent some time with us. Everything that I taught tonight, everything I taught today is out of my new book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's the science of shopping from home online the right way. There's tons of people who try to shop online. There are car sales people who have mastered the science of not giving quotes online, making it hard to buy online. So the same way when people were walking into the dealer, car salesmen got trained on how to handle you. The same way they saw millions of people go to the internet, they created internet sales departments to get trained on what? How to handle you. So you need a strategy to make sure that you're doing this the right way, getting bids. You don't have to be a great negotiator when you're great at getting bids. And that's what the book is about. So you can get your copy for 75% off. It's $24 in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio or the link in the comments on YouTube or Facebook. And if you're watching us on TV, just scan that QR code with your phone. But we'll be back sometime tomorrow, depending on when you're watching. And this is what we do. Let's keep saving this money. All right. God bless. And thank you to everybody that got the book. Email me your success stories. I want to see more success stories. All right. God bless you.